We're talking Pistons, first place team, game before the All-Star break, life post-trade deadline. Joining us is the team president of basketball operations, Trajan Langdon. Happy to set this up, happy to make this work. Trajan, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on, guys. How are we doing today?
We're doing great. And we wanted to start with the Isaiah Stewart stuff, and then we'll get into deadline and moving forward. But you've built a team of tough people, a team that people are proud of. Do you worry at all about the reputation that Stu may be getting around the league?
I think we're worried about what's going to come down from the league in terms of the games that he'll be suspended, which will hurt us a little bit. We'll rally and we'll come together, but we'll miss him. But I think he's a guy that everybody on our team knows that he has everybody's back, and we have they have his back on the floor. I think his reaction in the game was one of trying to come to the defense of one of his teammates. But I think he knows going forward that that's not something that can happen again, because it can set the team back.
Is this just sit and wait, or is there any communication that you have with the league office?
Basically sit and wait. I mean, you have communication, they're doing their due diligence, but at the end of the day, it's sit and wait, and they come to their discernment on what exactly they're going to put down for the suspensions for all, because it's not just our two guys, it's all four players, and getting the due diligence, the information from almost all parties involved takes time.
Talk about adding Kevin Huerter. What did you see with his game? Maybe something people don't realize. What are you guys gaining by adding him at the deadline?
I think the fit with Kevin is we like the IQ and the understanding of the game. We liked. It's not just he doesn't just run plays. He allows guys to play with him because he can do things, whether it's spotting up, whether it's ghost screening, back cutting, finishing, creating spacing. He holds pretty good gravity on the floor with defenses. Obviously, the shot, whether it's just spotting up in transition or off actions, I think he just does a lot of things to continue to open up opportunities for his teammates, as well as create opportunities for himself to score the ball.
Now, we've only seen in a couple of games, not a big sample size. How long should it take for him, with his basketball IQ that you're talking about, for him to be fully integrated into what JB is doing on the floor?
It's a great question. Probably have to ask the coach on that one, unfortunately. But it always takes time coming in, especially in winning situations, right? Good things are going. We've got a group of players that are playing well together, and I think JB's going to be cognizant of that and get him in at the right times. And hopefully over, the course of right at the beginning, coming out of this All-Star break, we'll get him implemented and get him helping our team.
Why didn't it work out for Jaden Ivey here in Detroit?
I think the most difficult thing is the timing of the injury that he had. He was playing great last year, but that was an injury coupled with a second surgery that ended up putting him out for almost a year. And so it was the end of one year, and it was the beginning of the next. End of one season, and the beginning of the next season. It wasn't just something that knocked him out for one season, and he had an off season in a camp. And I think trying to transition back to NBA basketball or any professional sport during the season when you haven't played for 11 months is going to be very, very difficult. And I think he will. I hope he figures it out. I think he will figure it out. Sometimes it just takes time. And great human being. I thought he was great for the city of Detroit, for our organization, and we wish him the best.
You didn't feel like you guys had the time to allow him to find his game. Is that also what you're saying there?
Yes. Yeah. For us, the move that we made, we felt we got better making that move.
In regards to where you guys are now, and I'm sure leading into the trade deadline, there's always going to be temptation to make a big move. And with Halliburton out in Indy, Tatum out in Boston, Was there a temptation? Did you feel a temptation to do it? And how do you pair that with making sure you're making the responsible move for the organization, not just this year, but in years to come?
Yeah, I think you said it best at the end is if there was a move to make, we wanted it to be something that not only helped us this year, but could help us and not hamper us in years to come. And internally, we talked about a lot of different options or opportunities or solutions. And we just felt when we looked at everything that there was nothing really there for us in terms of that capacity that could have helped us now and not hurt us going forward.
Maybe another way for me to phrase it as well is you guys are taking care of your business. There's no question about that. Do you feel the East is wide open with the injuries in Indy and in Boston?
I mean, those are two big-time players. We feel that there's an opportunity. I don't think we feel it's wide open. I mean, there's good teams. I think we've shown that we can beat those teams, but we also realize that we haven't won a playoff series yet either. So we haven't won a home playoff game yet. So although we're having a really good regular season thus far, the playoffs is a different monster, and we don't have a lot of experience there. So wide open, obviously having those two superstars out helps. But, we understand how difficult it is, and we're just trying to stay focused and reach this team's potential, and that's our day-to-day approach and our day-to-day focus, and that's kind of what we're doing instead of looking at the grand scheme of things, just trying to be the best the Detroit Pistons can be.
Talking to Trajan Langdon, Detroit Pistons president, basketball operations. You guys are in first place. You felt like you got better at the trade deadline. I'm going to ask you to zoom out again. I know you guys are focused day to day. Do you guys feel like you're good enough to win the NBA title as you're currently constructed?
I don't even know, really. We haven't even won a home playoff game, so I'm just not gonna talk about NBA championships when we haven't won a home playoff game yet. So
yeah, I guess
it's two completely different monsters.
Right. I think that's what we when we talk to fans, it's like, the regular season's gone so well, the postseason's a different animal. I'm not saying that you guys would be guaranteed anything or should be the favorite or anything, but the idea of the roster you've built, you think this roster is built to have success in the postseason. Could we say that?
That's the hope. Yeah. Again, right. I think we're playing really good basketball. I think we're one of the better teams in the league. And hopefully we continue that in the second half of the season and have success in the, I'm part of, was it 2014? I was a member of the Spurs when we won. 2016 was a front office member of the Cavs when we won. It's really, really hard. 16 games, and that other team is really good, and they're going to be prepared, and they're going to be coming at us. And to win 16 of them in the postseason is very, very difficult. So I understand that, and so I'm not going to sit here and say that we're definitely going to be able to do that. So for me, I know we're going to be competitive. I have no question about that, and I think we've shown that already. So I love the team that we have, and I think we got a shot to do some damage.
One more question for me about the trade deadline. Tobias Harris was a guy that we had talked a lot about that could be a chip that you could use. Obviously, you didn't end up trading him. What makes him so important to this team? What does he bring to this team and his value? If you just talk about the human being, he's professional. He's one of the leaders on the team. He understands what it takes day to day, game to game. I think he's just a model of consistency for us as well between the lines. You know what you're going to get with Tobias, with his approach, and he's going to do things to help you win, whether they're big or they're small. I think he's going to make shots. He's going to make plays. He's going to be in the right place on defense.
He's going to take advantage of situations or mismatches, and he sees them on the court when other people don't. So we felt that having him around was important. I mean, keeping him here was very important for this group. And we're happy he's here.
Is there any clarity from the league on Malik Beasley? Are you guys open to a reunion? Do you have any information on what the future looks like for Malik?
Malik is still under investigation by the league right now, so that's the clarity. In terms of when that will end, I have no idea. They don't really give any clarity on that.
Okay. Danis Jenkins has surprised, I think, a lot of us. Maybe he hasn't surprised you guys at all, but what's been the key to his success and the importance of him being around?
Yeah, we're very excited for Danis and what he's accomplished in this short time with us. But when we signed him as a undrafted free agent 2 summers ago, we liked the skill set, we liked the size, and we liked the character of the young man. And he just keeps coming. He's a high level competitor. He really, really works. Good size for the position. Plays both ends. Good teammate. But he competes, and he is not scared, and he just wants to be successful. He wants to reach his potential. He doesn't want to be any other particular person. He wants to be the best player that he can possibly be. And that's something, as we've watched him continue his upward trajectory, it's kind of been fascinating from last year in the G to Summer League to the beginning of the year. We had some injuries. He gets an opportunity, takes advantage of it, but he just keeps coming. We're lucky to have a player like that on our roster as well.
He's one of the great stories, not just locally for this team, but in the NBA, and it's a testament, obviously, to the work he's put in, but you guys finding him. Trajan, before we get you out of here, I just want to circle back so I'm not kicking myself. Isaiah Stewart, you brought up, you need to make sure this doesn't happen again. Is that something that you guys have a conversation with him? Like, how does that take place where you say, hey, we don't want you to stop looking out for your guys. We don't want to take the edge away from the way you play. But what is that conversation like when you or JB or the organization says, hey, we just want to make sure you don't get suspended beyond this incident?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. Look, we know where his heart is. We know. I don't think anybody doubts why he did what he did. It's like he saw 2 players coming at one of his teammates, right? And, one of his teammates, they're almost, they're very, very close. So I think right or wrong, he just felt like he needed to defend him at that point when he felt like his teammate got somewhat sucker punched by a guy. But there's also the professional side of it is, if you do that, you're going to miss games and you're going to hurt the team. And he also cares a ton about the team. And so this is hurting him. This is going to hurt him in that way because he's not going to be able to help his teammates here and the team for a while. So I think that's exactly what you said. That's the conversation. And let's talk about how do we make sure this doesn't happen. This has to be something we talk about, come up with a solution, and hold each other accountable to that.
He's Trajan Langdon. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
It's 97.1.